Hello, and welcome to my Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance 100% Gross LTC playthrough. I'm your host, Typhoon Carter, and today I have Emmett back with me as a co-commentator.
Back by popular demand and back for the best objective.
Yeah, so this is the very first chapter where we get any semblance of preparations, and the base icon here, or rather the base function, and we're just doing a little bit of purchasing, such as some hand axes after needing to hoard for quite a bit of time. And we also sold the goddess icon, because luck is totally not the best stat booster at all.
That's what rigging is for.
But yeah, we also get access to the forge function here, and forging, its availability depends on what point of the game you're at, but we make an Iron Lance forge here, and we can modify up to +5 for might, and around +25 for hit, but we go for a +5 might and +5 hit forge, and we're gonna call it Tokyo Mirage Sessions, aka TMS.
AKA the best Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, the best of them all. Height of the franchise, it was all downhill after that, boys.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the best rated Switch game of 2021 for like 2 whole weeks in January.
Wow, that is truly the stuff of legends.
Also, I do kind of. It is funny that we didn't max out the forge because, like, despite Path of Radiance thinking tens of thousands of gold,
we do not quite have that type of money yet. Although it should be noted in Maniac that the forge costs are actually like double of what they cost here. So like money is a bit of a problem in Maniac mode, but since we're on localized, that's thankfully not a problem.
Wait, does this mean Lunatic FE12 is inspired by Maniac mode? With the silver card removal?
Sorry, no, I'm just trying to take all that in for a moment. Who would have thought? Who could have saw that coming?
Greatness inspires great.
Yeah. One thing to note here is that in this chapter, you're actually encouraged to low man, because you actually gain bonus experience for each unit you do not bring into battle. And for the purposes of at least gaining some bonus experience, because we still need to train people, we're not deploying Mia for now. Mia will have her uses later on.
Wait, really? Or is that just a rated con reference?
Oh, no. She'll definitely have her uses later on. We'll find out.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. You'll find out soon enough as this playthrough goes on. Even with all of this, we put the forge in so that Oscar can at least one-round some enemies. Because as we have stated before, Path of Radiance enemies are really fat, and that longbow basically is just free money.
Yeah, you mentioned you gotta actually want to sell some things early on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually interesting in FE12 and with food and spare weapons in SOV, but it's funny to me you even need to do that at all in Radiance.
Yeah. Oh well. But this is mostly going to be a grinding chapter, where we're focused on training up Soren in particular, as we want him to hit a particular level, as we don't quite have like an abundance of bonus experience yet, where we can kind of just willy-nilly redistribute our bonus experience wherever.
Very necessary depth proc.
Yeah. Which was rather rough because Soren, as we're showing at this stage of the game, still struggles to hit some benchmarks. Even with the Fire Tome, which actually has a higher might than Wind. But then again, this is what...
5 perfect levels.
Yeah, this is what happens when your weapons have like 1 to 2 might.
God, have you ever just used an unforged Wind Tome against a Raven? It like actually hurts to see the effective damage and it doing like nothing different.
Oh yeah, it's like it goes from like 1 might to 2 might. It's like really depressing. Anyways, yeah, it looks like Soren is in a bit of danger, but thankfully he's not gonna be in that much danger because most of the enemies here have really awful hit, and it is possible for Soren to miss some doubles because of enemy stat variance, but the majority of the enemies on this map, Soren should have no problem doubling. Although it should be noted that we're feeding Soren at least 5 levels in this map alone.
Yeah, you mentioned that you took a decent amount of effort to reroute him like 2 extra levels from your first run.
I think the first time I had him hit like level 8, but here he ends up hitting level 10 by the end of the map. Despite the fact that this is a defend map, which normally is very boring, there are some things that we do want to do. Such as one of the priests actually drops a red gem. So, you know, the red gem's going to help us out with funds early on, at least until we get like a butt ton of money.
I think once you're in Benyon, you get showered in gold.
Yeah, I think you get a decent amount after like chapter 9 or 10, give or take. It's around that point where you start getting like some financial stability per se.
Oh. Yeah. But no, yeah, I think those do kind of like... It does help you feel like you're running an entire army, and then Volk shows up, and then like everything's just a joke at that point.
Yeah. But, you know, Volk, that's for later. And we watched Ike here miss 1-round KO benchmarks, because that's what happens when weapon effectiveness is only ×2.
Who played American FE7 and went, yes, I love Elwood fighting Armor Knights, and then just made that again?
Oh, man. Anyways, yeah, so Soren
How
here...
How does he miss that double?
Yeah, I think it's mostly because the Sword Cavalier is not getting weighed down as heavily as some of the other Cavaliers.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and also because he probably got a favorable stat roll, because Path of Radiance stat variance I found is a little bit weird. It's a little bit bigger than GBA, but the thing is, unlike GBA, there is like no reliable way to at least get stats that you at least know what you will get by like soft resetting. That's not really a thing in Path of Radiance, unfortunately.
News to me. No, that's actually interesting.
Yeah, and we killed a priest here because we really don't want too many enemies retreating, and we do want to kill every last one of them as we go along here.
You mean you don't want to watch the animations of getting healed on enemy phase, or just so they suicide and ask it more?
Just so they actually attack us more. Because reinforcements will show up as this map goes on. And while we were playing this map, I decided, let's just try and route all of them, or as many as we can. Unlike last time.
Yeah, no, not last time was a bit short.
And here we witness a coward AI put into action, as some enemies actually have vulneraries, and the enemies, when they're low on health, they will actually use them. Throughout the game, there are times where this can be used, such as if your player is, or rather if your unit is in danger of dying, you can kind of use it as a way of getting the enemies to back off, or at least a particular enemy to back off from you.
Oh, you mean if they're gonna get dogpiled too hard?
Yeah,
so
that's one way to put it.
Yeah, mostly because GBA AI, if it's like, well, I'm basically assuming this is similar to GBA AI, it can get kind of hard if you're ever playing like an inflation GBA hack.
Oh, man.
Where the enemies just suicided you a lot.
You mean like The Last Promise?
Last Promise, I was thinking Souls of the Forest, but you know, that kind of works too.
Yeah, the Armor Knights here unfortunately cannot handle all this weight, as we're watching them just get outclassed pretty badly here. And here we finally watch Boyd 1-round stuff.
What a god.
Yeah. So this is the brief period of time where Boyd is pretty good for us. At least for now, anyways. And Boyd and Ike are just holding down this choke point. You might notice, that there is also like a mage kind of just chilling back there. That's actually a recruitable mage, and thankfully it's not a frustrating recruitment.
She attacks me on enemy phase.
Oh, her AI is specifically programmed to like not really attack us per se. And
is that supposed to be a reference to her shade? Because she has the skill by default.
Like no, it's actually more story related, one could say. Because like
Helios has so much good writing, and then just Ileana is it hurts my soul so much. People like her. I'm sorry.
No, but Ileana is like part of the caravan that joined us, like the people who are in charge of the base function and sells us stuff. She actually is supposed to be with them, so that's like partly why she doesn't outright attack us. And also because for quote-unquote story reasons, she's being forced to fight against her will. So there's also that going.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that IS was capable of a story gameplay integration?
In my post-Kaga games?
Impossible. But anyways...
do you want to talk about her as a unit? She is technically comparable to Soren.
Oh yeah, so the thing with Ileana is that she starts out at level 6, and her bases are a little bit better than Soren's. At least, like, at base, strictly speaking, but the thing that she does not have going for her is the fact that Ileana does not have, like, 2 entire defend maps to, like, grind her up like we do with Soren. So technically, she could do a lot of the stuff that we need Soren to do, but the thing is that we already have Soren at a relatively high level, and also because Ileana has trouble killing some enemies on this map, so grinding her out would be fairly difficult.
Not to mention it's hard for them to target her with Shade too, which is one time it matters, really.
The downside is that we can't really remove her skill at base, because like in Chapter 8, you can like reassign, or rather assign unit skills and also remove skills using the base feature. So
did you remember to remove Void's Tempest, or was that just off screen?
Oh, after a while, like Void had so many levels that he was also accurate. He was accurate enough, and forging was more than enough to make up for Tempest's wild hit rates. But yeah, Ileana here won't really do much for us for like this run, although she will do a little bit next chapter, but that's for next chapter. And then Soren here is going to engage Kamura for the upcoming enemy phase, as we want Soren to get some experience. And Kamura, deceptive and surprisingly, has a lot of resistance for an Armor Knight, which is kind of unheard of.
It's foreshadowing for Radiant Dawn.
Perhaps. And Kamura here, he actually has a short spear, but for the next turn, it just makes our kill a little bit, you could say more safer for Soren to pull off, so that Kamura won't be able to retaliate. And because he attacks Soren with the Steel Lance, since he would do more damage if he was able to hit him, but his hit on Soren is not all that good, as it's like a sub 50 hit.
That's even lower than I thought, actually. Wow. But I guess, yeah, he has a lot of speed at this point.
Yeah, also because luck actually does affect Avoid.
Yeah, that's true. And you never know what Biorhythm actually is per map.
Yeah, that's also true. Titania here. Wow, look at her.
Look at this reverse EXP thief.
Yeah.
Perfect beating.
This is what Jagans truly aspire to be. Hey, she even missed on purpose. She missed on purpose. She truly is
a queen.
Yeah, she just so.
And she still gets a level.
Yeah, it's just so that Soren can get more weapon experience on purpose.
Wow. Perfectly planned by you.
Yeah, definitely what we needed, after all. But it should be noted that stat variance is like great enough where Soren is one of the units that's affected the most by this, as the stat variance is enough to determine whether or not he is able to one round or not.
That variance isn't very fun. I'm kind of glad we got rid of it with Fates. Although I know some people still like the ESCU,
I think
ESFE range.
I think they got rid of it in Awakening.
Oh yeah, Awakening. God, I always forget how elitist Awakening is in so many minor details. And then it's like, you know, Awakening, but it's still funny to joke about.
In hindsight, I probably could have forged a tome for Soren to use for him to reach 1 round KO thresholds. But the thing is that tome forges in this game is really expensive. So
yeah, it's like it's unintentionally proportional to the total might of the weapon, I think.
Yeah.
So it just happens to make low might forges so more expensive for wind or something.
Yeah, although they'll come in handy later on because we had so much money by that point, but here we don't really have that luxury, unfortunately, as we notice how Soren is either cleanly 1 round KOing enemies or needing adept procs.
I'd just like to point out again that he's got like 7 perfect levels and was only barely 1 round KOing soldiers.
That is really depressing when you come to think of it, but that's just Path of Radiance for you. And Armor Knights here are just unusually fat compared to like other FEs. I don't know if it's just me, but that's the way it definitely feels like.
No, it's a little annoying, but I mean, like, you don't have to kill them.
That's
Most
true.
of the time, we're just Titania bowls them over.
Yeah, wait until you run into generals
God,
in the
or
late
end
game.
game.
Yeah.
I think in my first run, Oscar did 0-2 with a hand X at 2 range. It was...
Wow.
It made my jaw drop just a little bit. And then, you know, Jill was just dabbing on everyone until Ike got rescue dropped to kill Ashnard.
Wow. Much wow. It should be noted that heal and mend actually give this exact same amount of weapon experience. Although if I really was optimizing Riss's experience gain a bit more, I would have gotten Riss to use the Mend Staff, since it would have given him a little more experience.
Yeah, what does Riss accomplish much at all in this run? In the long run?
His staff rank is gonna be useful for Hammer later on, but it's
for
really,
Hammer, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's really Soren and Mist who's going to be our 2 main focuses as our staff users. And here we watch pathetic enemy damage output, where Void takes like 1 damage.
God, I love Void. I mean, I know this isn't like normal run stuff, but X is good.
Yeah.
Also, I like how all these reinforcements still pop up despite we beat the boss like 2 turns ago. Also, very Ike.
Yeah. Mostly because if Chapter 5 was anything to go by, these enemies will come to us non-stop, no matter what.
Yeah, it's not the best design, but whatever.
It's farming at its finest.
Yeah, it works out for us, I guess.
Yeah. And we certainly appreciate the experience that we're gonna need, as we're getting pretty close to the end of this map. And it's funny how it's raining, and thankfully they got rid of the weather mechanic way back from FE9.
You know a mechanic is bad if it never gets used once again.
Yes. It would have been really funny if the rain mechanic was present here, where units just got slowed down.
It would have been narrative gameplay integration, as Ike is very sad after Grail died.
Wow. Spoilers.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh,
shoot.
No.
We're gonna have to redo this whole video.
No, what am I ever going to do?
20 minutes of different map commentary again and again.
Yeah, just like how Intelligent Systems spoiled the fact that the Black Knight was, you know, totally not that Zodius guy.
I like how they didn't even spoil it in Path of Radiance. Like,
yeah, no, they didn't even try to hide it, and anybody who's going to complain about that in the comments section, screw you.
I mean, like, it's hard to be mad at Heroes still, because it's just like, you just stop caring after a certain point.
Yeah.
I mean, what? They released Sans Eye, Fire Emblem Fire OC that just died, but they're back now for no reason.
Oh no. But yeah. Anyway, so we have Ike here get another kill, as we do still need to give Ike some experience to some degree.
Ashnard kill is art.
Yeah, that's a
well,
tough.
As a final boss design.
What great design, as Ike hits level 8. And Soren here, we're just gonna move up so he can get in range and get more experience. And that vulnerary was just for insurance. Because,
and that boss rounds up this chapter, though.
Yeah,
turn 8.
And we're just gonna let this enemy phase play out. And Soren here is finally reliably one-rounding enemies to some degree.
That's the beauty of 100% growth LTCs, I guess.
Yeah.
It's reliable, so you can do the most unreliable shit possible later. Oh, and also shout out to Soren's defense cap.
Yeah, a whopping 10. Really depressing.
I didn't even realize that was in Path of Radiance, since it's such a GBA copy, it feels like.
Yeah.
And then just does random stuff.
I'll see you guys next time for Chapter 9.
A good map.